Can you hear me? Parfait, ok, on peut commencer. Wouhou! Parfait, ok, on peut commencer. Wouhou! Alors, de quoi est-ce que vous voulez que je parle? Est-ce que vous avez quelque chose en particulier? So what do you want me to speak about? You got anything specifically that you want me to speak about? De quoi est-ce que vous voulez que je parle? Est-ce que vous avez quelque chose en particulier? So what do you want me to speak about? You got anything specifically that you want me to speak about? So about going to France, yes, I think it's hard to learn a language if you're not living in a country. If I speak about my case, my English was very, very bad before I arrived in England, and I really think that after living in England for now quite a while, I really had to learn English, and I think it's much easier to learn a language when you're in the country, obviously. Now, I think you can still learn the language without living in the country. I have students, for instance, who are very, very good at French, and they never lived in France, never lived in a francophone country, never lived in a French-speaking country. So I don't think it's necessary, but I think it helps a lot. And if you can travel in French-speaking countries, I think that will help you a lot. Obviously, to learn the language. Now, I would say because of the internet, it's very easy to have authentic materials such as films. Now, for instance, videos and stuff like that. So I think it's easier now than it was before. Let's say 10 years ago, and even before, like long time ago. Now I think it's easier, but it is better to live in the country, definitely. I totally agree with you. Yeah, sarcasm, oh yeah, I use sarcasm a lot, man, so feel free to use sarcasm. Now, you know about sarcasm, you need to be careful about one thing, is that people will think you are stupid if they don't understand your sarcasm. It happens a lot to me. I like to laugh about that, I like to make jokes, but my jokes are most of the time very cold humor, and in fact, people think sometimes I'm stupid because they don't understand the joke. So yeah, be careful about sarcasm, but that works a lot in French, no problem. Like we love that as well, so feel free to use sarcasm. I need to find a way, because I've got a comment on the left which I can't see, and I've got you here, and it's very not easy for me, so I'll have to find something. Just give me 1 second, guys. No, I'm from south of France. I'm from southeast France, le sud-est. So between Marseille and Nice, that's where I lived all my life. And my father's from Corsica. That's why I look like more Italian than French, maybe, for some of you. But yeah, my father's from Corsica, and I'm from the southeast of France, so between Marseille and Nice, as I said. But my mom is from Lorraine, which is north-west, not far from Germany. So yeah, so basically all the east part of France, that's where I lived, or at least traveled to. I don't really know the west part of France, so all Normandy, Bretagne, Aquitaine, all this kind of Spanishy side. I don't really know these regions well. I know more like the east side of France. Yeah. How important are idioms to you when you become fluent? Well, first, about the idioms, first it's very important to understand the language. In my opinion, it's very important to understand the core of the language and the mechanic of the language, how the grammar behind, the foundation, and then you are able to speak properly. And then the idioms comes little by little. But I think it's good to learn idioms, but maybe not too much at the beginning, because then you get confused, because most of the time the idioms are specific to the language. That's what idioms means, yeah? It's specific to a language. So it doesn't make so much sense in your language. So sometimes it's good to learn them like that and know the context and use them in that context. Such as, I'm going to give you an example, such as il faut. Il faut is an idiom in French, and that means it is necessary. And in fact, as you can see in English, you would use the translation it is necessary, but in French, faut, it's a verb that we conjugate, and only with il. So il faut means it is necessary. And that's an idiom in French, because we have different ways of saying this, but we're using that a lot as il faut. So that's a very good one to use quite early, because in your practice, early in your practice, because you can use that very easily. And it's not too hard to understand, in my opinion. But otherwise, in different, there are different idioms that are a bit harder, because in fact the grammar behind it is quite maybe hard to understand, and sometimes it may be a bit hard. But once again, it's good to speak with French people if you can, and see what they are using, and then copy them, basically. But that's what I used to do, really. I used to listen to English speakers, and I just copy the people I wanted to look like. So the guy looked like roughly my age. He was roughly my social, I would say, class. I wanted to look like him, kind of. I wanted to speak the English he was speaking. So I was kind of copying. And that's why I think one of my Japanese friends, one of my first students in fact, liked me, because he wanted to kind of speak like me when I was speaking French. So he was copying a bit, the expressions I was using and things like that. And I think that's the idioms you should pick up and make your own. Is the idioms that your friends are using, or the people who's speaking French that you want to look like are using. But if you just take idioms from books and you don't really know if they are used or not, then it becomes a bit bizarre really to use them. Some of them are old-fashioned or nobody really using them, so yeah. Yeah, exactly, Stefan. I'm gonna try to tell your name so then you will know who I'm answering to. And again, if I don't answer you, it's not like I totally nullify what you're saying and I don't want to answer you. It's just there are a lot of comments that are coming and it's quite hard for me to track. So repeat it and I'll try to answer to everybody. And Stephen, yeah, Stephen Kung. Yeah, in French we're saying or yeah, in Japanese they're saying ano or things like that. So in all languages they got their own filler, but in French it's yeah, lots. And so again, if you want to speak French with an authentic way of speaking French, it's good to switch to you know, and then suddenly you will look like French, and you will really look like a bit more authentic. Yeah, we use that a lot. This yeah. So Abdul, you have learned alphabet with the video, and you want to which video you want to watch next? Okay, for all of you who are very beginners, once again, I'm here to help you out. But I'm a teacher, I'm a French teacher. This is just a hobby I'm doing because I like to help others and I really appreciate what we are doing exactly right now. I speak to a lot of people all around the world. We are what, 10, 12, doesn't for 13 now. Doesn't matter, I love it. Even if we were just 2, I love it. Just the fact that 13 people together because of French, because of the group, I like that. But as a French teacher on a regular basis, that's my job. I understand that it's very important to have a teacher. So if you don't have a teacher, or if you can't afford lessons with a real teacher, then it becomes a bit harder really to learn a language on your own. But I would say you learn the alphabet, which is good, pronunciation and things. That's perfect. Then you will have to. But the camera, yeah, exactly. Then you'll have to produce small sentences by yourself. So I would say online you have an app called Duolingo, which is good. You have the app, the Mosalingua app that I've recommended on my channel, which will help you as well. So I really invite you to download it through my link. Then you will support me as well in the same time. But this is a good app though, so that's why I recommended it, because it is a good app, I do think, by repetition, and then you will learn vocab. And then little by little you will have to produce sentences, small sentences, very easy basic stuff, but you know, how to present yourself. Okay, je m'appelle Thomas. Ok, j'ai 31 ans. Ok, j'habite à Londres. And try to present yourself. You see, and then you will start to use verbs like that. Bon, this is avoir, to have. This is habiter, to live. And habiter is the first group verb, and then you can check my first group verb video and try to learn how to conjugate these verbs, for instance. But once again, it's very hard to learn the language by yourself, but there are apps now online. My videos are not meant to teach you per se. My videos are meant to help you. So you have learned something on your own, and I'm here to help you out to remember. I'm here to explain it again, or at least try to explain in my own way. Try to explain you a concept of French grammar or vocab or whatever. But it's quite hard to learn French only with my own videos or only videos online. But I think, yeah, if you are using apps, that could be a good start, using my own videos, other videos online. There are plenty of videos online as well with other people who are doing a very good job. So I think it's little by little you can start producing small sentences like that and then build it from here. Yeah. Can you hear me, all of you? Can you hear me properly? Yes, Stephen. I think my videos are supplementary to whatever you're learning. Yeah. I do think so. There are plenty of videos online already. So for me, when I started this channel and when I started again, reflexive verbs. Okay, I'm coming on that, Dave. Just give me 1 second. I'm coming on that reflexive verbs. About my videos, yeah, I don't want to produce videos, and I don't want to show you how to learn French from scratch. I think there are all the videos already. What I want to do is to help you to understand a few concepts, or so there are supplementary videos. That's what I think I'm doing the best. Now, if I just show you vocab or things, for me it's a bit boring, and I think there are other people already who are doing that online, so it doesn't really help the channel, because they are already good people, they've got already a lot of people watching them, so I will never be able to really create something big. So I'm thinking, what is the point really? But good about the sound, good. Which app? The app are Mosalingua and Duolingo. Check. Mosalingua, I've made a video on it, so you can find my own video, and Duolingo, it's online. Yeah. Just one thing, I think I have to plug my phone because I'm afraid the phone might just going flat. So 1 sec. Okay, sorry guys, sorry about that. So, what are we saying there in the chat? Yeah, an earthquake, exactly. Okay. Okay, Peter, about the eng, so, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so we have the eng and we have the reflexive verbs. Okay? So the reflexive verbs, If you look at my channel, you will see some videos that I've made that, in fact, it was last week about the reflexive verbs, and we call them in French pronominal. Okay, so c'est un verbe. Pronominal, so it's a pronominal verbs rather than reflexive, and it's there are verbs that are a bit specific because you are doing an action on yourself for a lot of them. If, for instance, if I'm saying couper, that means to cut. Then if you're saying se couper, that means to cut oneself, okay? And that is conjugated je me coupe, tu te coupes, il se coupe, nous nous coupons, vous vous coupez, et il se coupe. And that is, I cut myself, you cut yourself, he cuts himself, we cut ourselves, you cut yourselves, they cut themselves. Okay? So, je, me, tu, te, il, se, nous, nous, vous, vous, il, se. And that is to cut oneself. Therefore, the first aspect, which is the reflexive aspect. Okay? So, it's reflexive. You're doing an action on yourself. Je and me are the same people. One person, I, in fact. So, je me coupe, I cut myself. Okay? Now, depending on the context, you can have, as I said, a reflexive aspect, but you can have a reciprocal aspect as well. So, réciproque. Reciprocal means that there are two people and they're doing the same action on each other. So in English it would be each other. And in fact, without context, you don't know. If you look at this one, nous nous coupons, that means we cut each other, but it could mean we cut ourselves as well. So we cut ourselves, reflexive. But it could mean a reciprocal, we cut each other. Okay, so in the context, the context will help you to understand that. So I think that's it really about the pronominal verbs. And then we have another aspect, which is the passive. There are some verbs which in fact are to be understood in a passive form. So, in fact, when I'm saying je m'appelle, it's not reflexive. That doesn't mean I call myself. You're saying it's not reciprocal, so it has to be passive. And in fact, that means I am called, meaning I am called by people. Okay, so very important to understand this idea. Now, tell me again what you haven't understood about the reflexive verbs, and I'll try to explain them. Talking about the eng, that was Peter who asked that. the ing in English, such as you were saying, running, are used in a lot of different ways. You can say, for instance, in English, I am running. Yeah, I am running, and that is a present continuous, the tense in English called the present continuous. In French, it will be the verb to run, courir, in the present tense. Je cours. Okay, so that is only this verb in the present tense. We can't say je suis courant, courir, whatever, something here. That doesn't work. That doesn't exist. In French, it doesn't exist. So it has to be, this form in English has to be only one verb, je cours in French. So I am eating. It has to be je mange. Yeah. Now in English, now in English, when you're saying I am eating, you might say I am eating because you want to describe the fact that you are in the middle of eating. So if someone calls you and he says, oh, what are you doing? You are saying in English, I am eating. That's what you would say. In French, if you want to describe the fact that you are in the middle of something, then you have to use the expression être en train de. And that means to be in the middle of. I've made a video on that. And in fact, if you want to say this, in French you would say je suis en train de manger. So it's être en train de plus infinitive verb. So you don't touch that verb. So je suis en train de manger means I am eating. So it's slightly different. There's a difference between this and this one, because if you're saying je mange, it's just plain and simple, I eat. But if you're saying je suis en train de manger, it means I am in the middle of eating. So you are really now eating. So you are in the middle of the action. So that is a better translation to this. Okay. Now in English you are saying eating after some expression. So for instance, if you're saying après, so after eating, blah, 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 that is totally different in French. Because in French you were saying après, and then you're saying après manger. So in French we're using an infinitive, when in English you would use an ing form. Yeah? I love eating. You would say in English. But in French we would say j'aime. And you know that after j'aime, it has to be an infinitive. J'aime manger. Because in French, when two verbs are following each other, the second one is always in the infinitive. So j'aime manger corresponds to I love eating. Yeah? This one. Is that explain a bit the ing form? Tell me again in the comments, and I'll try to answer it. About the Verlan, I heard most of the young French speaks Verlan. Is it true? Yes, it's correct. That's true. Verlan. Verlan means, so for those of you who don't know the Verlan, the Verlan is a slang. Okay, good, Peter. I'm glad I helped. Verlan, it's an argotic, as we call it, argot. Argot is the slang. And what we're doing in Verlan is, in fact, we are cutting the word and we are turning it. I explain myself. A good example. I don't have example now. Yes. If I'm saying une femme, okay, a woman, une femme, the Verlan form of une femme will be une meuf. Meuf. So in fact is so meuf. Meuf. Yeah? Another example will be yeah, problème. Un problème, a problem. We're saying blême, pro. So in normal, this is 1, 2. In Verlan, it will be 2, 1. Blême, pro. I don't know how to spell it because we don't spell there, yeah? So blême pro, I would say like that. Blême pro. So un blême pro, it's a problem. So it's like in English saying a blême pro. Woman, a man woo. You know what I mean? That's the idea of Verlan. So they are switching nouns like that, the words like that, and that makes another slang. Some words are still used, some are less used nowadays. It depends on the words, it depends who using them. But the slang has changed slightly, so that's a bit old-fashioned now. It's when I was young, so like I would say 15 years ago. Now it's a bit it has changed. There are some words that are still used like that, but some no, they find another words, let's say. So that's the Verlan. Good. I came across an example this week where I thought I should use a reflexive verb, but in French friend rewrote the statement as a non-reflexive related to the French rencontré. Yeah, meuf. Yeah, Peter. Meuf. Meuf is femme. So une meuf is une femme. And you turn it. Very slang, yeah. Quite rude, I would say. If you say meuf, it's very like it's a chick. Like in English, we'd say chick, yeah. So not really polite to say that. So the statement is related to the verb rencontrer. Yeah, so it depends what you are saying with rencontrer. What's your name? Dave. Because rencontrer means to meet, so you would say je rencontre mon ami. And if you put that in the past, j'ai rencontré Dave. I can say. J'ai rencontré Dave means I met Dave. Okay? And that is not in reflexive form because in fact you met Dave. And to answer the question makes French even more difficult. Yeah, exactly, that's a bit more difficult. In fact, j'ai rencontré Dave, we have here a verb and we have here un COD. So to answer the question of someone before this morning who asked me if the COD is important, you can see that here, yes, it is important. So j'ai rencontré Dave, I've met Dave. So here, the subject and the complement are not the same people, right? I met Dave. So you got I and you got Dave. So there's no need to be reflexive here, no need to be pronominal. Now if you say Dave and I have met each other, that's different. And you would say nous sommes rencontrés. We met each other. So that is different. So now it becomes pronominal. Now the verbs become se rencontrer because because Dave and I are in fact the same group kind of. So that group met the group. So each other in English. So you see here is reflexive. Pronominal is not reflexive. Here is reciprocal as I explained before. But it's pronominal. You are using nous, and then être auxiliary because in passé composé, pronominal verbs are using être. Nous sommes rencontrés. Rather than here, you're saying j'ai rencontré Dave, you are using avoir, by the way, because here is not pronominal form, and here is I met Dave. So here two different people. Here, the same group. So here would be each other. Does that answer your question? Yes, Stephen. Yes, Stephen. It's a similar thing with myself, yourself, each other, them stuff. It's a bit more complicated than that, but it is that. Do French speakers care about accents? It depends. So about pronunciation, guys, if I may tell you something, my own opinion about pronunciation thing. You have to understand something. There's a difference between a pronunciation mistake and an accent. If you are understood, but you are not pronouncing the word properly as a French person would do, as a native, then you have an accent, which is fine. And in fact, you may have even, If you're a girl, boys might like you, and if you're a boy, girls might like you, or if you're homosexual, guys might like you guys, blah blah, whatever. You might be liked by others, let's say, to be politically correct. You might be liked by others because your accent is a bit attractive, yeah? So we like that. So that's fine. It's like me. I'm speaking with a French accent. I'm not pretending being British. I have a French accent, it's fine. But now if I'm not understood because I don't pronounce word properly, then there is a problem here because you are making, at the moment, a pronunciation problem. If I don't understand you, or if you pronounce a word and you pronounce it wrongly and I will understand another word instead, then this is a pronunciation problem and that has to be tackled, that has to be changed. But if you are pronouncing and I can understand you, but I can hear a color of your accent because you're from this origin or that origin, then it's fine. So in terms of accent, don't stress too much about it. If you're understood, it's fine. If you're not understood, it is not fine. So far in England, I've been most of the time understood, so I'm okay. I don't want to sound like a British, but I want to pronounce words properly as possible, because I know that if I start not to pronounce them that properly, then people will have a problem to understand me, and that becomes a problem in itself. Okay, so pronunciation mistakes are different than accent. Accent is fine if you're understood. Pronunciation mistakes are not fine because you are not understood. So here you need to concentrate on that. Okay, Dave, that's good. I'm glad that helped. Yeah, about that. Someone else? You got anything else you want me to speak about? Something else? So, quelque chose d'autre? Something else? Hello from India. Hello from India. Hello from London. What is my favorite dish? Quite hard to explain. A French one, you mean, or in general? Quel est ton plat préféré? En général, mon plat préféré en général ou mon plat préféré français? French one, français. J'aime le foie gras. Foie gras. Gras. Le foie gras. For me, it's very, very nice. J'aime les grenouilles. I like frog legs, and it's not a cliché. I really like frog legs. I think it's very, very good, and if you never tried it, you do have to try it, because you have chicken somewhere here and you have frog legs there. Seriously, it's very, very good, so you really have to try it. But not in a bad touristic place. In a really, it's close to Lyon. Frog legs are a specialty of Lyon, near Lyon, because you got a lot of swamp there, so you have a lot of frogs there. So it's a specialty from the region of Lyon, nearby. So don't buy frog legs in a random place when they don't know how to cook it, and then you will say, oh, it's not good. Of course it's not good, they don't know how to do it. Go in this place, try frog legs from a small restaurant, and you will see it's beautiful. Otherwise, I like foie gras. I like choucroute as well, it's pretty cool. Choucroute. I like cassoulet as well, it's very good. I like kind of this stew stuff, it's pretty cool. Any difference between pour and la fin de? Okay. No, it's tu crées des souffrances. Yeah, no, it's okay, you know, I don't really care about the suffering of frogs, to be fair. Does learning only French grammar helps? Our college only teaches French grammar. No, it doesn't. Coming on your example, before I had the difference between pour and la fin de, okay? La fin de, I'll explain that in a sec. Then I have, is there a way to improve speaking in French for me in order of ease? It's writing, reading, comprehension, listening, and then speech. It's hard to improve speaking if you don't have friends. If you have friends, French speakers, then speak with them. Slowly, try to talk as much as possible with your friends. Otherwise, what you can do, it's instead of producing sentences, instead of producing written sentences, then just try to speak instead and record yourself, and then you will see, because sometimes when we're writing we have time, so it's easy not to make mistakes, but when you're speaking you don't have so much time, so it's good sometimes to record yourself, try to speak, and then try the same sentences and writing, in writing, and then see the difference between your speaking and your writing skills. But speaking is very hard. I come back on skills in a second. I had about the French grammar. No, I like French grammar because I'm a teacher and I like French grammar. But you don't need a lot of French grammar. But you do need French grammar as well. People who come at me saying, "Hey Tom, I want to learn French, and I don't want grammar at all. I don't want to write. I just want to speak." I'm like, no, you're not gonna learn French like that. Okay, I never seen someone speaking French properly who didn't open a book or learn grammar. That it won't happen. Okay, I had today was Ali who asked me, Ali Tuna, who asked me about the why do we have to learn COD, and I gave him the answer. You really have to learn COD for a lot of different reasons, and even for your understanding of French mechanic, I would say, the mechanic of the language. So it is important to learn grammar. Now, if you're doing that all the time, it becomes boring, and I totally agree with you. And that's the problem of the French teachers, and that's the problem of my English teachers at school. Some of them were good, some of them were quite bad because they taught only grammar and no enough speaking, no enough things like that. So really, no, I would say yes and no. A bit of grammar is fine, a lot of grammar not fine if it's just grammar and nothing else. Yeah. So could you explain? Exactly. Could you explain numbers, please, in terms of writing more formally? When do you put hyphen and S for plurals, or for thousands? I think it's different. Okay, mention my name in the video. Faraz. Yes, it's me. I asked you to thank you for your answer. No problem, Ali. So we have pour and afin de. They are quite the same. In fact, they are almost the same. They are used and they are trigger an infinitive, so they both trigger infinitives. So pour plus infinitives, afin de plus infinitives, and you see that's the answer about the person who asked me about the grammar. Because now when I explain, if I say infinitives and you understand me, that was a good grammar skills. Like here you learn that, but if you don't know what an infinitive is, then you're gonna struggle to understand me. So you see why the grammar could be important, but not too much grammar. So the infinitive is the gross form of the verb, so the dictionary form. So you take the verb and you don't conjugate it. That's the infinitive. So for instance, if you say pour manger or afin de manger, it's in fact exactly the same. This one is slightly more formal than this one. This one is a bit more current French, neither formal nor informal, but this one is a bit more formal. Afin de is a bit more formal. Yeah, that's, I would say, pretty much the only difference between afin de and pour. And that explains an objective. Okay, so if you say pour manger, it's the objective. So why do you buy that? I'm buying this pour manger. J'achète ça pour manger, in order to eat. Okay, so that triggers the idea of objective. But they are similar, and this one is more formal than this one, I would say, really. Okay, so the skills, I wanted to talk about the skill. The skills, we have 4 skills. We have speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Okay, so there are 4 skills. Reading, listening, speaking, writing. And reading, listening, speaking, and writing. No. Writing. These ones are passive. These ones are actives. Passives because you're receiving, right? So when you read, you receive the language. You don't have to produce it. You just have to understand it. Listening, just have to understand. I speak, I make the effort of speaking, and you just have to listen to me to understand. So this is passive. These ones are actives. When you speak, you do have to produce your own language. And when you are writing, you do have to produce your own sentences as well. So these one are actives. And most of the time, it's harder to be active than to be passive. So you would see that these skills are, for most of you guys, for sure, will be harder than these ones. And it's always harder to be in oral than in written, because when you write, you've got time. When you speak, you don't have time. So when you speak, you don't have time, and you have to produce the words by yourself, the sentences by yourself. So these ones are always the hardest, and this one is the hardest for sure. These ones are easier. So that's maybe the reason why you struggle with your speech. How do you call second person in grammar? In Arabic we call it for he, they, tu. And the second person. How to call second person in grammar? In Arabic we call different for he, they, tu, and them. I'm not sure I understand your question, Faraz Mohammed. Stephen, about the numbers, I've made a video about it, so I invite you to watch the video. If you got any problem with the numbers, it's pretty straightforward. You put a hyphen when you have two numbers, one after the other. So for instance, if I say 32, you put a hyphen, and 20 takes an S unless you have something after it. So 20 takes an S unless you've got something after. So if I say 80, 80, that's 4, 20, 20, you put an S at 20 because you've got nothing after. But if I'm saying 82, you have 2 after, then you don't put an S. So really check the video I've made, and if you got any questions, then in another live, just come back at me. Yeah, that's why the speaking is always harder. So yes, Faraz Mohammed, I'm not sure how to call second person in grammar. So what do you call second person? Are you calling the second pronoun? Yeah, okay, Stephen. And if you got any problem, don't hesitate to come back in another live. I'm gonna try to make lives as soon as often as possible. So come back in another live, and for sure I will answer your questions. But if I've made already a video, you understand that I prefer you to check the video. Then it will be a proper explanation, much better than the one I can make here. Because here it's a bit awkward. I've got the camera here, I've got your comments here. So at least in the video for sure it's a better job, and I won't miss anything. Like here I may miss something. So check the video and come back after if you want, and for sure I will answer your question if you got any more questions, for sure. I promise that. Are there any other languages you want to learn? Me? I'm speaking very badly. Very badly. I speak Spanish, French, English. I understand Italian. I've learned Japanese at school, at uni. I learned Japanese at university, but I'm very bad at it. I went to Japan last year and I survived, just about. But I'm really, really rusty, and that's a language I want to learn again. Really, I want to learn Japanese properly. That's always been my dream. And I am learning Hungarian as well. Hungarian because my girlfriend is from Hungary. So I'm learning Hungarian as well. So yes, so speaking, Spanish, Italian, French, English, Japanese, and a bit of Hungarian. But very bad at Hungarian, very bad at English. Spanish, I can survive. Italian, I can survive if I go to Italy. And French, I hope I'm okay. And English, I'm not too bad. What should I do to speak French frequently? Do you have friends? If you have friends, French friends, then it's good to speak with them. If you don't have French friends, it becomes a bit hard to speak French frequently. You have the app Mosalingua, I've recommend, who allows you to record yourself, so to check your pronunciation. Otherwise, as I said before, you can record yourself and try to send that to your French colleagues or French friends to correct it. It's quite hard to pronounce to practice your speaking if you don't have anyone to speak to, right? So personally, liaison is my nightmare. I can read French, but when I try to listen, I just become so paralysis exhaustion. Yeah, but very badly. I speak many languages, but very badly. All of them. Really, everybody. Hey, Janice, you okay? Bonjour. So about the... Yes, Ankit, pense en français. That's good, yeah. So if your level start to increase, then obviously we start to think in French. So now I'm speaking in English, I think in English. I'm not thinking in French. I'm not translating into my head. I'm just speaking. And so everything I want to say here comes here without me thinking into French. Of course I'm not thinking into French now, I just speak in English. But for that you need time and you need practice. So first you have to speak in your own language and to know what to translate, and then little by little you are speaking and thinking in the language you want to speak to. About the liaison, I can make a video on that if you find it very helpful, the liaison. The liaison, it's a bit hard to explain it very quickly, but the idea is that you will link words. So for instance, you could say nous avons, and that will be a Z liaison, nous avons. Il a, that will be an L liaison, il a. Okay, so yeah. If you're saying il est, you have a liaison here with L, il est, and then you have a T liaison, il est un, blah blah blah. The problem with the liaison is that some of them are a bit irregular, and sometimes, like for instance, il est, that's a liaison that everybody will do. But if you're saying il est un, that's a posh liaison, as I call them. So it's a bit like posh people would say it, if they're very formal. But most of us, we won't liaison this one. So it's quite hard to know because the rule doesn't really apply. Sometimes you would see that some liaisons are very necessary, and for instance, a very necessary liaison is this one. Aux États-Unis. Okay, so you can't say anything else than that. Aux États-Unis. Okay, aux États-Unis. ZZ, aux États-Unis. If you pronounce it aux États-Unis, sounds a bit clunky, yeah? So really aux États-Unis. Same with sur les Champs-Élysées. Les Champs-Élysées, you know the avenue in Paris. Les Champs-Élysées. You don't say les Champs-Élysées, you're saying les Champs-Élysées. Yeah, so here are the famous liaison that you do have to make, otherwise it sounds a bit clunky. But sometimes you would see the liaisons are not necessarily respected. So I can make a video on that later on if you want, if that will help you guys. Yeah. Can you divide the French you teach into lessons so that it can be useful for us to remember how much we studied? It will be like keeping a brick every time I study each lessons and be confident. Yes, Faraz, just give me 1 second, I will answer you. Bonjour Thomas, if there's a way you could give us a step-by-step instruction on how to utilize your videos on your French learning journey, perhaps organize them in playlists. Oh my god, almost same questions. Exactly. About that, how can I explain? I'm on my own, doing my own videos, in my room, speaking alone to my phone. So what I enjoy is to explain things, and the best for me is when the students tell me, oh, thank you very much, now I understand. Now I'm feeling useful. I'm feeling very useful when I have that kind of answers. If there are plenty of videos already online from very established people who doing this lesson, things like that. The problem of that is you need a manual, you need like a book, maybe some texts and stuff like that. And that takes a lot of time to produce. And this is not my job, right? My job is a French teacher. I'm doing a lot of martial arts as well on the side. So I'm very busy, and although I love doing videos and stuff like that, this is not my job. If I were paid to do this, by the way, in terms of paying, some of you have been helping me and sending me some money, and that helped me tremendously. So I really thanks all of you who've been supporting the channel so far. But you know, in terms of, I'm gonna be honest with you, in terms of advertisement on the YouTube channel, I'm not making money. I'm making almost nothing. So I haven't really earned anything so far, except for those of you who've been sending me money online. I'm not begging, I'm not saying no you should pay, because I want it to be free. But if half of my subscribers will give me £1 or $1 per month, I guarantee you I stop all my job and I'm doing this all day long. Okay, that would be $6,000 per month. Okay, I stop. I stop working and I'm just doing this online. So to answer your question, it's very hard and it takes a lot of time to doing lesson by lesson, block by block. And what I try to do is I want my videos to be a helping guide for you, to explain you different grammar subjects or different vocab. To know where I'm going, what would be lesson 20 compared to lesson 15, compared to lesson 10. It requires a book, and I can't use a book if it's not my own, because otherwise for copyright reason they might sue me, because I'm making money on them. So it's quite hard for me to organize, and I do think there are already videos which are made online about these things. The videos are not made online, in my opinion, are the one that I'm doing, which is explaining more in detail the thing, doing lives as we're doing right now. I think that's very great and I really like it. Although we're just 20, I love it, I just love it, I just love being here with you guys, and I'm not kidding, it's been an hour and seriously I just really like it. But yeah, it's hard for me. Yeah, okay, so I hope you understand, you guys, and I tried my best to put in playlist, to organize. Mind you that I've started this channel, once again, it was February, okay, so it's just a month now. Before that I was too busy and I couldn't concentrate on the channel. So this channel is kind of new, so if you got any good ideas or stuff like that, really feel free to let me know. Yeah. In other terms, as well, talking, and I finish here. I'm planning on creating a Patreon page. And that is a website that helps creators such as me or others to be paid, so you can support the channel and support me by sending money as much as you want every month. And with this money, the more you spending on me, the more you will receive, the more things you will receive. So let's say, for instance, and I haven't decided that, and I'd like to decide it with you, but for those of you who are sending me, I don't know, let's say £5 a month, then they will have the right to choose the next video. They can choose what the next video will be about. Those of you who are sending £10, I can correct them, or I can have, I don't know, some time with them. If you're sending £20 per month, then I can give you an hour of tuition per month, and stuff like that. So we can work on that as well. So I'm really, in other terms, I'm really willing to share all your ideas, guys, and what you want me to do. So for the Patreon, but as well for the channel and stuff like that. So please feel free to let me know and give me your ideas. About the plus. And before and after that I had something else. When are you going to come online next time? I don't know. About the coming online next time, I don't know, because in fact it was a trial today. We are 21 and I don't know what day will be best. I have no idea. So maybe on Sunday might be good for people, I don't know. During the week, Thursday, maybe. I think it will be either Monday or Thursday. These are my only 2 days off. Monday and Thursday, so maybe during the day on Monday and Thursday. So I think the next live might be on Thursday. Yeah. Malak Taba, hello there. I don't have any question, but I just came to say thank you very much. Okay, merci. Thank you very much. I thank you very much for your phone teaching the language. You may not know us, but we know who you are, and you're a great teacher. Okay, thank you very much, and I really appreciate this message. These messages are really are really help me, and in fact you guys who've been saying that you like the channel, you make me think, okay, I should start again this channel. I was very busy and I was very feeling bad because I kind of let you down, and when I saw everybody was sending messages on the channel side that I helped them, then I thought I should start again. So I'm really pleased that at least I'm helping people here. I'm very pleased, even if it's just few of you guys. I'm really great. I'm really great. I really like that. I think it's brilliant. Now we have the internet. We are 21 all together from all around the world. So I think that's so cool. So to answer the question, plus on his own, you pronounce the S. Okay? So if it's on his own, pronounce the S. You pronounce the S of plus if it's followed by de. So if you look at my video I've made on the comparison, how to compare things, it was like not long time ago, then you will see that it was plus de. Okay, so for instance you could say je veux plus de whatever, chocolat. Okay, so I want more chocolate. More of chocolate, literally. So here you do have to pronounce it, plus de, because it's followed by de. If plus is followed by an adjective, if you're saying tu es plus grand que moi, then here it becomes plus. You don't pronounce the S. Tu es plus grand que moi. You don't pronounce the S here. You pronounce it here, you don't pronounce it here. If plus means no more with a negation, je n'aime plus le chocolat. That means no more, and you don't pronounce the S. So I don't like any more, I don't like any longer the chocolate. So here you don't pronounce it. Je n'aime plus. Ouais. Tu es plus, because this is an adjective. And here plus, you do pronounce it because it's followed by de. Okay? I think that's it really. Yeah. So if it's plus a quantity, then you pronounce it. If it's plus a quality, then you don't pronounce it. And if it's plus in the negation, which means any longer, then you don't pronounce it. I think that's it. Yeah. So I hope that helped. But I'm thinking if there's another case, but I don't think so. I think that's it. So yeah. Yes, if I knew you were doing live feed, I would have prepared some questions. It's 5 AM in my city. Oh my god, 5 AM. I'm really sorry. My god, 5 AM, Janice. Yeah, it was a bit impromptu, as we say in French, impromptu. Nothing has been planned. It's really just a trial what I'm making here and see how many people were willing to share it with us. But I think I might do lives on Monday and live on Thursday. I still have to make videos today, so yeah, it is still it's a video day for me. Monday and Thursday are my video days, so I still have to make 3 videos today. I'm gonna make a video on articles today. I'm gonna make a video on the 600 mots, the 600 words. We're gonna continue this, and I hope that helps you. And then I'm gonna make another video on the pronom. Last time it was pronom complément direct. I'm gonna make a video on pronom complément indirect. So we're gonna continue this series of pronouns today. So I'm still have to make the 3 videos today. Yeah. Okay, Lucas. So I hope that helped. Yeah, I'm glad that helped. Yeah, I think that's it. If you find another sentence. And you're not so sure about the plus, then ask me and I'll explain you how you have to pronounce plus. But I think that covers pretty much all the cases. So yeah, plus de, plus grand, plus, ne plus. So don't pronounce it, you do pronounce it. Yeah. I'm just gonna drink something, guys, because I'm feeling a bit. Thank you, internet abbreviation. Merci beaucoup, Verlan. Come too late. Internet abbreviation. Thank you for all your great work. I don't speak English neither French, so I can get to learn both from you, and it's actually worked so big. Thank you very much. Well, I'm glad I helped. Once again, I'm really happy. I'm very happy. If I can help only one person, that's already enough for me. So in fact, I've been helping a lot of you, so I'm very, very glad. I'm very glad I helped, and that's what makes me continue. Really, I really like it. I really like it. I always love to teach since I'm a boy. I always love to teach, but I like to teach people who want to learn. You have to understand something: is you are the learner, I am the teacher. My job finishes here. This half is yours. So I can't learn it from you. If you have to learn your verbs, for instance, not me. I can show them, I can repeat them as many times as you want, but you do have to learn them. So I'm happy to teach people, and as you can see here, I'm kind of doing it on my own free time. I could be doing something else, but I really like doing this. I really appreciate it, and I like to do my job. I mean, I'm a French teacher regularly during the week, and I love it. But I had some students who were not so cool, not so great. They didn't necessarily really want to learn, and this is not so great to teach them. But teaching you guys, I'm very happy, and I'm doing it because, as you can see, I've got some very nice comments. So that really make me think, okay, I'm helping people. So I'm very glad. I'm helping you guys. But yeah, I mean, you do have to learn, and I have to teach. So sometimes people think that, oh, because they're going to attend French lessons, they're gonna learn French, they're gonna speak French. No, they won't. They will be taught, but then it's up to you to learn. So it's not because you're attending a French course, then that's it, you're gonna speak French. You do have to learn, you do have to do your share, your part, and your exercises and practice and stuff like that. So don't think like just by listening to me or your teacher, that will be enough. You really have to do the effort. And some of you, I can see, are really making the effort, so that will pay. That will pay one day, for sure it will pay. Have you ever been to India? No, unfortunately, I've never been to India. I really like to go to India. I see many French nationals in Pondicherry city, because Pondicherry was one ruled by French. Yeah, I know. Actually, India was ruled by French and English, and Pondicherry was the main city of our region, I would say. So yeah, I know there's a lot of French speakers there, and I really want to go to India. I'm studying Buddhism, in fact, so India for me is a very interesting place because that's where Buddhism was born. So I really want to go there and study Buddhism there, and temples and places like that, just to see them. So I really would like to go to India. Unfortunately, I don't have so much time. I really like Japan as well, so I've been to Japan last year. So unfortunately, I don't have so much money that I can go on these places often. So I really like to go to India for sure. I'd like to go there. I'm grateful that you're teaching in your spare time, especially when you're already teaching and are quite busy with other things as well. Yeah, but I like it. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you appreciate it, guys. You've got a great story, very informative. Unfortunately, I have to go now, but subscribe to your channel. Merci. Okay, Dave. See you. I think I'm doing exactly the same live on Thursday. I don't really know at what time, but I think something like that. Maybe 1 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock, 3. Around early afternoon on Thursday, I think I'll be teaching. So if you want to come, please feel free. Get your questions for me to explain, and then for sure I will answer them. Okay. If anybody has another question and you want me to answer, then please feel free to ask me. Yeah. Anything? What can I say? I don't really know what to say now. I don't know. Anybody want me to say to talk about something or explain them something, or what do you want me to do? What do you want to do, guys? Just tell me and I'll do it. No one? What are you struggling the most? Can you just answer? What are you struggling the most? What is your main concern when it comes to French? Is it the writing, speaking, listening, reading, and what kind of grammar areas, conjugation, pronunciation, things like that? Do you think it's okay learning French and English at the same time? Yes, I think it's okay to learn French and English at the same time. Yeah, it's okay. I don't think there's any problem really. It depends on you and your capability, your skill. But I think it's fine as long as you don't mix them. And it looks like your English is good because you're able to understand me. You're able to write and read. So so I think that's fine. Going back to the words that have different meanings, when do you pronounce the last letter of the word? Going back to the words that have different meanings, when you do pronounce the last letter of the word? Are you in other social media platforms, Instagram, Snapchat? No, I'm in Facebook. No Instagram, no Snapchat for us. So you can find me on Facebook at EasyToLearn French on Facebook page, but and Twitter as well, Twitter. But the main thing is YouTube, of course. I'm struggling with listening. How do you learn a language without getting bored? How do you learn a language without getting bored? Why are you getting bored? That's the question actually I'd like to answer. It's not a rhetorical question, it's an honest question. Why are you getting bored? I let you answer that and I explain to Janice the pronunciation of the last letter of the word. I'm not sure I understand you, Janice. What do you want me to talk about? The last letter of the word, most of the time you don't pronounce it. This is chocolat and you don't pronounce the T here. Okay? You would pronounce the T if you had an E. Then you would pronounce the T. That word doesn't exist, huh? It's just to show. Okay? So, that is pronounced grand, but that is pronounced grande. So here you do pronounce the D because you have an E. If you got nothing, then you don't pronounce it, grand. Okay? And that's the difference between masculine and feminine. So it's quite important. So for me, I have to say je suis grand, I'm tall. And if I were a lady, I had to say je suis grande. So there's a difference between grand and grande. So most of the time, we don't pronounce the last consonant unless it's followed by a vowel. So if you have a vowel, then you do pronounce it. If there's no vowels, then you don't pronounce it. So for instance, it's Paris, not Paris, Paris. It's Thomas. Yeah, my name is Thomas, not Thomas, by the way. So it's because there's a consonant and there's no vowel afterwards. So then you would you don't pronounce the last letter. So let me go back. There's a lot of main thing as an English speaker is preventing my brain from direct translation and understand when learning French. It is the concept. Yes, Stephen, I answer you in a second. Main concern, I struggle with speaking mainly because no one around me speaks French. Yeah, that's the problem, Janice. I think is the main concern for a lot of people. I guess that from a lot of you here is that a lot of you are not. I mean, they don't have French speaker around them, so it's quite hard to speak. And I don't really know how to. I don't really know how to make that possible, really. Pronunciation definitely. My sister said my French sounds like Vietnamese, lol, I'm Korean though. Okay, if there's an equivalent to present continuous in French. Yes, Lucas, there's an equivalent of present continuous in French. I explained it right before. In fact, it's the expression être en train de plus verbe infinitif. Can check, I've made a video a long time ago about that, être en train de. So you conjugate être. So if you say, for instance, I am eating, in French it would be je suis en train de manger. And that means I am in the middle of eating. Yeah, so that and that would be same. Okay. And that, in fact, answer the question to Stephen Kung, is that it's okay to translate. In my opinion, it's okay to translate, but you need to know what to translate, and you can't translate word by word. Otherwise, you're gonna make mistake. So you really want to translate concepts and not words. For instance, that's a really good example. I am eating. What does that mean in English? It means that to eat, and it's continuous. Okay, so how can I translate this concept in French with the expression that we have, être en train de? Okay, if you translate word by word, you have je suis manger, and that is totally wrong. Wrong. You can't answer. You can't translate that with this. This is not correct at all. So as you can see, it's a concept. Yeah. If I use past tense, we have different past tense in French, exactly like in English. You need to ask yourself, okay, what is the concept here that I want to translate? So it's very important to understand in terms of concept rather than in terms of word. If in English you're saying it is necessary to have a visa in order to go to China. So if you want to go to China, you need a visa. It is necessary to have a visa. In French we're saying il faut, because il faut convey the concept of obligation. It's an obligation. So il faut, it is necessary. So how do you convey the concept of obligation in French? With il faut. That could be one of the possible translations. So you could see here's a concept more than anything else that we're translating, not word by word, most of the time. Yeah. Pronunciation. About the pronunciation, I've made a video about how to pronounce French sounds, so I hope that helps. Then it's by practicing. Once again, I've made a review on the app called Mosalingua. If you look at my channel, you would see Mosalingua video review. A video about the Mosalingua review that I've made, and there is a link on the description. And if you follow the link, it will give you the possibility to download the app. And that's an app, quite good app about the vocab, and it drills the vocab, so it makes you repeat and repeat and repeat the vocab, and you can speak as well. So you will be shown a word, someone's gonna pronounce it, and you can record yourself with the microphone of your phone or your iPad, and then you can match the pronunciation and try to match the pronunciation. So it's a good tool to really practice your pronunciation. Yeah. How do you properly use on and e in sentences, Grace? We're coming on that. In fact, in a few videos, I'm gonna make a video on that about on and e more in detail. But I can explain it right now if you want. But just give me a second. I've noticed some words like to and to sometimes pronounced, sometimes not. Okay. Yes, Janice. If you look at the video at this live a bit before, I was talking about plus and plus, and you do pronounce the last letter depending on the concept. The tout is the same. In fact, tout, tous. If you say tous les jours, then you don't pronounce that, tous les jours. But if you say tous sont venus, then you do pronounce it. Because here's an adjective, here's a pronoun. So once again, you see guys, you need to know the grammar in order to speak properly French. If you don't know what an adjective, you don't know what a pronoun is, then you're lost because you don't know if you have to pronounce it or not. So tous les étudiants sont venus. All the students came. All of them came. Here you don't pronounce the two with an S. Here you do pronounce tous. Okay, I'm gonna make a video on that as well. That was in my mind. I have to make videos about the last letters like plus, tous, and stuff like that. So it's coming, Janice. But that can be one of the answer. For example, est-ce que change a statement to a question like our do you have or does it? Stephen, I've made a video about questions with est-ce que. So once again, I advise you to check the video I've made. And if you got any questions about it, then please feel free to come back. But I've made a video on est-ce que. So the T. Yeah. I can say j'ai besoin de, for I need to, but I say tu as besoin de, il a besoin de. Yes, you can say tu as besoin de, il a besoin de, nous avons besoin de, vous avez besoin de, for I need, you need, she needs, blah blah blah. That's totally correct, SG. Can you recommend some French book for intermediate level learners? French books, quite hard. There's one book I love and I use with my students and I think it's very good. First, you can use comics, which are quite good. And there's one called Le Petit Nicolas. And you can find some PDF online. So you can find PDF en ligne on the internet. It's called Le Petit Nicolas and it's meant for kids. But in fact, you will see, even as an adult, you laugh because it's written in a way that in fact is very, very funny. So it's a kid called Le Petit Nicolas, so it's called Nicolas, who is a kid, and he explained his life about his mom and his dad. But it's not really childish, it's kind of, the humor is very kind of, there's a double understanding, so you as a kid you understand it in the first kind of understanding, but as an adult you realize what is behind and things, and it's very, very funny. I loved it when I was a kid and I still love it when as an adult because that makes me laugh a lot, and I use that with my students because the French is pretty authentic, except there are sometimes few expressions which are a bit old-fashioned, but it's very authentic French, very good French, and not too hard, so I recommend that. I want a lot of French movies and listen to music to surround myself with French sounds. Slowly it's getting easier. Yes, which is good, Janice. Bonjour monsieur, can you talk about le passé composé? Hey Hamal, I've made a video about passé composé. In fact, I've made 2 videos about passé composé. So if you want, you can watch them. And if you got any more questions about passé composé, please come back again. Maybe on Thursday. I'm gonna make another live on Thursday, so we can talk about that later on. But I'm gonna make another video as well about passé composé and imparfait, the 2 tenses that we have in the past. So maybe that will help you as well. It's coming soon. But please check the video. If I've made already videos, check them. Then for sure you will receive a proper explanation. And then you can come back later on if you got any more problems. Toi and trois, how to pronounce? Toi. Toi is pronounced toi, toi. And trois, you don't pronounce the S, so it's T-R, wa, trois. So in fact it's the same sound, and you have an extra R here in between. Trois, toi, toi, trois. Same thing. Now to answer this question about en and i. En and i. So what you have to know is en and i are pronouns. Okay, so a pronoun is a word that substitutes another word. And once again, I'm going to make proper videos about that, so I don't worry. But en, what you have to know, it's that substitute de plus something. Okay? So it's de plus something. Je mange de la viande. I'm eating meat. Je mange de la viande. This is de plus something. And that is substituted with en. Then it becomes j'en mange. So j'en mange means I eat some. Here you're saying I eat some meat. That is de plus something, j'en mange. Yeah? Je viens de France. J'en viens. I come from there. So it's de plus somewhere, in fact, as well. That works as well. Okay? Another example. Je fais du ski. I'm doing ski. Okay? Du, you know that du is de plus le. Huh? You know that. So here we have de plus something. So that is en. And that becomes j'en fais. Okay? So that was for en. So en is de plus something. Something. Okay? Something. Not a verb. If you have a verb after, that can't be used. Yeah? It's something. So it has to be a noun. Okay? Now, a. Oh, sorry, I. It's a plus something. There's not a lot of verbs, but there are some verbs that require a plus something. For instance, je pense à mes problèmes. Okay, I think about my problems, and that is a plus something. So that would be I. Then it becomes j'y pense. Okay? And then I, that substitutes a place as well. Any place, except de plus something, as we saw before, de France. But in other cases, all the other cases will be substituted by I. So for instance, je vais en France, à Paris, au Japon, sur I don't know, whatever you want, sur le toit, on the roof. Okay, that's a place. All of that will be substituted by I. So that becomes j'y vais. And j'y vais means I go there. I go there. Okay? So that's it really. I hope that answered your question. Tell me in the comments if that answered your question. Le futur proche et le futur is the same idea of the to be going to and will in English. Exactly. Futur proche is going to, and futur simple. I've made a video on that, futur simple, and it's like when in English you're using will. So it's exactly right. That's exactly the same. J'y pense, what does it mean exactly? I think about, j'y pense means I think about it or about them. So that is this. So in my context, I said I think about my problems, and that becomes here. So j'y pense, I think about them. Les problèmes. And it has to be something, not someone. Something. Mes problèmes, j'y pense. Ouais. Another example, je participe à une compétition. Je participe à une compétition. I participate to a competition in English. Is it participate to a competition or participate in a competition? It's maybe participate in competition in English. I'm not sure. Anyway, in French is je participe à une compétition, and that becomes I. So j'y participe. I participate to it or in it. I think in, yeah, I was not sure in. So I participate in it. Yeah, I participate in a competition. I participate in it. Yes, so E substitute A plus something. So here was competition, here it was my problems. Yeah, okay, in, everybody, in! Yeah, okay, good, I remember now, participate in, very good. Yeah, so good, I'm glad I helped. But you say he replaced place. Hold on. You said he replaced place. Yeah, he could replace two things. So it depends on your context, right? In my context here, a mes problèmes means I. So here, that means I think about them. Now in this one is there, because my context was a place. There's something you need to understand, Ali, and others as well, not just Ali, but others. You don't use pronouns like that without a context. If you think about it in English you'd say him or her or their. Bon, these are pronouns, okay. You don't use them like that out of the blue without any context. If you just one day get up and you see your wife or your husband or whoever and you just say, oh, you know what, I saw him. He's going to tell you, but who him? Him doesn't mean anything if you don't have context. Now if I said, oh, I met my father yesterday, I saw him every day, then I know that him is the father. Now in another context I said, oh, you know what, I saw the director of the bank yesterday, yeah, I like him. Now you know that him is the director of the bank. So in other terms, a pronoun is the word that substitutes another word, and you have to have a context. Without context, you can't use a pronoun. So in this, j'y pense, if you don't have a context, it means I think about it, I think about them, I think about, but you don't know what it is. So that was my context about my problems, and it becomes j'y pense. Okay? Here, that was my context. I'm going to France, to Paris, to Japan, on the roof. So that becomes j'y vais, I'm going there, and there here becomes this context. Okay? So yeah, think about it. It has to be a context, and in order to know what that substitute. How many pronouns are there in French? A lot, a lot of pronouns, and I'm making slowly but surely. I'm making videos about pronouns, but there are pronom sujet, pronom réfléchi, pronom tonique, pronom direct, pronom indirect, and en and i. So in fact we have already 7 pronouns or 7 lists of pronouns. Then you've got pronom possessive, when you're saying in English mine, yours, hers, his, and stuff like that. Then we have pronouns such as tout, tous. Okay, that could be a pronoun as well. So we have a lot of pronouns in fact. Yeah. Do you like tarte au sucre? Yeah, I like tarte au sucre. It's been a while. It's been a very long time. I haven't eaten tarte au sucre, but yeah, I like tarte au sucre. Chloe awesome, help sub to me please. Okay, well I would like to sub to you, but I don't really know why I should, so why do you do, and if it's good then I will sub, no problem. Just I'm gladly gonna check your, I'm happy to check your channel and see what you're proposing, and if it's good then people might sub to you, no problem. But try not to use the channel to make your own advertisement. That's good. I like that. If you could all avoid using the channel to promote ourselves, that's cool, but no problem. We might sub to you if we think you're doing a good job, no problem about that. I want to share a good website about French grammar. Okay. So good, once again, Ali, no problem about sharing things if it's in order to help others. But we try not to send too much all the stuff, I would say. The live feeds is fun, thank you. Well, I'm glad I helped, Janice, I'm glad I helped. I think I'm gonna, yeah, no problem, Ali, no problem. I'm glad I helped. I think I'm gonna stop it very soon, or soonish, unless you've got other things to say. but yeah, I think I'm gonna stop it soon. I would say in a few minutes I might stop it, if that's okay for you guys. And now you know that I might do a live on Monday and on Thursday, or maybe all the days as well. I don't know when to do the lives really, because I don't know when you guys will be free to do it. So yeah, I'll try my best to suit you. So I was thinking for a while maybe Sunday morning, like early afternoon, so maybe people are more free on Sunday, they're staying at home, so maybe it will be easier for people to stay on Sunday. Je sais pas, je sais pas. Je ne sais pas. Next time I'll have a few questions for you next time. Well, okay, that's good. Good if you have questions. Yes. So unless someone has something to ask, I will be happy to answer. Me as well. Okay, good guys. Yeah. Is French language same in real life? Because Arabic is different in real life and in news and species. No, it's the same. Faraz, Mohammed, it's the same. We have different level of formality, so it can be very formal if you are listening to a speech, like political speeches or stuff like that, or news. But less formal, of course, if you're going in a rough place, but roughly we're using, I would say, one French. The written French is slightly different though, it becomes much more formal, much more formal, much tighter, much more tight, tighter. But otherwise, no, it's not like Arabic, with this literal Arabic, like literature, and no, not really. I live in Belgium and they use some different words when they speak about numbers. Yes, Ali, Belgium and Switzerland are using different words. I know, for instance, for 80, for 80, they're saying... No, 80 is the same, but I think it's 90, 90 in French, they're saying 90, 90, okay, that would be the 90, 90. Things like that, I think we need to check. I'm not so sure, I forgot now what in Belgium they are using. But yeah, I know that their number are different in Switzerland and in Germany, in Belgium. What are some slang words people commonly use in France? A good question, Grace. I'm giving 70. Yeah, that's it. 70 for 70. Yes, you're right. 70. 90 for 90. Yeah. Exactly. You're right. But that's just Belgium, huh? Yes, Sunday is the afternoon your time. Then here it's an early morning. Sunday in the afternoon your time, then here's an early morning. Yes. What I was thinking, yeah, it's not easy because I'm teaching French on Sunday afternoon, in fact, so I can't be too late on Sunday. I really don't know. I can do Monday, and more during the late afternoon, early evening. I think it might be better for everybody. Yeah. What was the question of Grace before? It was the slang words. Okay, we can. I can show you slang words very quickly. Slang words. What slang words do we use? Something good. There are plenty of slang words. It depends on who says it. It depends if you're young, less young, what kind of social class you're from, really. But I would give you something that goes a bit everywhere, that I used everywhere. We can say bosser. Bosser. Bosser means to work, so it's travailler. Bosser. And in fact, un boulot. Un boulot. Don't pronounce the T, yeah? Un boulot, that's a work. Or a job. So, je bosse tous les jours. I work every day. And mon boulot, je suis professeur de français. C'est mon boulot. That's my work. So, that's my job. So, these are slang that we're using quite a lot. I will buy you frog legs. Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Yo-Yo. Thank you for frog legs. I love them. So definitely I'd like some. So yeah, bosser, un boulot. What we have, I don't know. Être à la bourre. Être à la bourre. To be in the hurry. So être pressé. That's what you're saying in the less slang way. So être à la bourre, that's slang, être pressé. To be squeezed, literally, hein? So to be in a hurry. And être à la bourre is the same, to be in a hurry. Un boulot, bosser. What can I say? Ah, être bourré. Être bourré is to be drunk. Être sous, so we're saying sous. Yeah, être sous, so that is pronounced sous. Very regular, and that means to be drunk. And that être bourré literally means to be stuffed. So you are stuffed by alcohol, so you like. So in English you'd say, I don't know, in Great Britain we're saying in England we're saying you're plastered, yeah, or you hammered. Okay, so that is être bourré, to be drunk. Être sous. Être à la bourre, to be in a hurry. Un boulot, a work, a job, bosser, travailler. Are French people polite on all French cities? Because in South India people are soft, but in North India people are tough. But they are not rude. It's natural to them to be tough. I think it depends. Yeah. It's quite hard to answer this question. Parisian people, they've got a bad reputation for being rude. But I think everybody is nice, depending on the individual, depending on you as well. I think it really depends on you. I see some tourists, they're really not really considerate. They really try not to speak French, they would just speak English, and that's it, not even an effort. They are rude themselves, the way they ask things or the way they want things, they're very rude. And then people's gonna be rude to you. I mean, we're not afraid to be rude to people. You see, in Japan, for instance, I was not living, unfortunately, I was visiting Japan. And people are very polite, and even if you are rude to them, they might keep being polite. Okay, they will keep being polite with you because that's their way of being. In France, we are not afraid to be rude to you. So if you are rude to us, we will be rude to you. No problem at all for that. So I think it really depends on the individual. First of all, there are rude people and not rude people, like everywhere. But I think it depends on you as well. So depending on how you interact with them, people might be very different. So some people says, oh, I went to France and it was lovely, and people says, oh, I went to France and they were all rude. And I know these people, and I'm thinking, well, but you were rude as well, maybe, because you are rude on a general basis. You're kind of a rude person, not saying thank you, not saying hello, not saying please, not the way you talk is quite rude. So then people, I'm sure people were rude to you because you were rude to them first. So I think we kind of adapt, but I would say generally, like everywhere, people are neither rude nor polite. I think we can have pretty much everything, I think. Which is your hometown in France? Pas trop pas. My hometown, I lived between Marseille and Nice. So in fact, I grew up in a place. I grew up in a place called Draguignan. A bit bizarre to pronounce. Draguignan, okay, and in fact this name is from dragon, a dragon. So it's the history of the place is there was a dragon that a Christian saint killed and stuff like that. So that's why the word is Draguignan, dragon. And Draguignan is in Provence between Marseille and Nice. And in fact, it's not far from Toulon. So yeah, that's where I lived. I studied in Nice, I studied in Aix-en-Provence as well, and my father is from Corsica, so I was to Corsica quite often as well during holidays. I went to Corsica, but otherwise that's where I grew up, Draguignan, which is a small city, 45,000 people maybe, 45,000 habitants, 45,000. It's a nice place, but when you're a teenager it's a bit boring, there's not much to do really, but it's a nice place. Yeah. And for those of you who are interested in the Second World War, they did a landing in Normandy, okay? But they did another landing in Provence, in southeast France. And the landing, the operation was called Operation Dragoon, okay? Operation Dragoon. And it's because of this city, of this dragon. So in fact, the Operation Dragoon, the landing in Provence, was named after my city, which is Draguignan. So yeah, that's it really. The where I'm from, that's it. The southeast France, yeah. And from Corsica, my father's from Corsica. Yeah. Okay. Bon. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, well, it was a bit boring, but well, yeah, it was good. I think there are worse places in the world, definitely. I had a lot of sun. I was not too far from the sea, not too far from the mountains as well. So it's a good place. It's a good place. The food is good. The weather is very very good. It's very sunny, very hot during the winter, very mild during the very hot during the summer, very mild during the winter. So yeah, très chaud, très très chaud pendant l'été. Assez, il faisait bon, mild, il faisait bon pendant l'hiver. Donc c'était agréable, très agréable. Very agreeable, yeah. And now I'm in London and it's a bit colder and it's definitely more wet than it was there. But yeah, it's good. Okay guys, I think, have you ever been to Belgium? Yes, I went to Brussels. I went to Brussels once only. I visited Brussels for a long weekend. Yeah, a long weekend. That was good. That was good. A good place. Brussels, good place. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think I'm gonna stop it here. It's been nearly 2 hours. So that's where you live. Good. Yeah. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice place, Brussels. Yeah. It's a pretty nice place. Pretty small. I liked it. We could walk everywhere almost. I think that's great. I like cities like that when you can walk. You don't have to take the tube, the bus, and spend time in your transport. I think it's good, these small cities. I went to Seoul in Korea. It's a very nice town, but it's massive. And seriously, from the airport to the city center, it was very, very long. But Brussels, on the other hand, is pretty tiny, so you can walk everywhere. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Au revoir. Let's say that we're gonna do lives on Monday and on Thursday. I don't know. I might try to do another live today, a short one, just to see if there are more people coming or not. Because the moment we were 12, at the best we were maybe 20, which is good. I'm not expecting 500,000 anyway. But maybe this evening it might be more, it might be better. So I think it might be, I'm just gonna try. At the moment I'm trying and I see what is best, and then I'm gonna concentrate on that schedule, on that time. But for sure Monday and Thursday would be my days at the moment, I think, and then we will see. Okay, so what we have, take care, very good, take care, support you, and never continue, and never stop, continue like that. Have a great day, bye bye, thank you. Les bleus, exactly. And have a nice day. Okay, so yeah, I might see you, for some of you, for the most enthusiastic guys, I might see you this evening. I might do another small session, maybe late afternoon, early evening, to see how many people are coming. And otherwise, I will definitely post some videos today, and 3 videos, and then I will see you on Thursday for another live session. Okay? Au revoir!